Hi everyone! In today's video we're going to crochet our very own tray. So for this project you'll need a roll of Eco Medium tube yarn, a size 8mm crochet needle, and one of these wooden bases. So in the video I'll be using the big round one, but you can easily follow along if you want to make the smaller round one or a square one. Super simple. So grab your supplies and let's get started. So first, let's talk about the wooden base. If you want this logo to be visible, I suggest you start crocheting directly below it or above it, so you can choose where to center your handles later. So I'm going to start right here. And a simple way to start is to just fold your yarn like this, so you get like a U shape. And we're going to start crocheting with a smaller needle than we're going to use later, just so we can fit both the needle and the yarn in the holes. So I'm using a 6mm crochet needle. You choose whatever you like. So I'm just going to start right here and do my best. Actually, upside down could be easier. Let's see where my needle is. I'm just going to pull the yarn through. It's a bit tricky. There I have a loop. So I'm going to hold the yarn's ends tight in the back, and then with my needle I'm just going to wrap the long piece of yarn around my needle and just pull it through so I get a chain. And I'm going to start with 2, and this count as your first stitch. So I'm turning it over. So now we're going to crochet single crochets all the way around. So this chain counts as your first stitch. So in the next loop, in the next hole, we dive down with the needle and try to hook the yarn and pull it through. It's a bit tight, so you get it up. So we crochet it around this string of yarn and around the edge of the wooden board, like this. And in the next hole, dive down, hook the yarn, and gently pull it up. So you kind of get, you can always think that you want the needle to be leveled, so you get equal tightness on your stitches. And just continue all the way around. And I will show you how we finish the round. Making my last single crochet right here, and we're going to end with a slip stitch in the second loop on our chain. So we have 1 and 2. So the top one right here, dive down with the needle, yarn over, and pull through both loops like this. There you have a slip stitch. So if you have crocheted with a smaller needle for the first round, let's switch to a bigger one. I use a size number 8. So now we're going to crochet 2 rounds of single crochets, and we always start our first stitch with making a chain. So you go 1 and 2 loops, count as your first stitch, and then you make a single crochet in the next stitch like this. So you dive down in the next stitch, yarn over, pull it up, so you have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through both loops. So just continue making 1 stitch or 1 single crochet in every stitch for 2 rounds. And I will meet you at the end and show you how we continue. And just remember, you finish a round with the slip stitch and you start the new one with the chain of 2 loops. My final single crochets on my second round. last stitch right here. And again, we end with a slip stitch in the second loop on our chain. Made it a bit tight, but like this. So for the next round, we're going to start building our handles. So as you can see, I placed needles as markers where I want my handles to be and how wide. And just for reference, I decided on 8 stitches wide for my handles. So just bring out some needles, place them where you want your handles to be, and let's start crocheting. And again, we always start with making 2 loops for our first chain. That counts as our first stitch. We're going to continue making single crochets, so dive down in the next stitch, hook the yarn and pull it up so you get 2 loops, yarn over and pull through both loops. Just continue making a single crochet all the way to your first marker, and I will show you how we make the handle, or start to make the handle. So now I'm at my first marker. So I know this is where my handle starts. So I just take this out. And since I wanted it to be 8 stitches wide, we're going to make a chain of 8 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And where I placed my other needle, my other marker, that's where I'll attach the chain with a single crochet. So just dive down and make a single crochet and attach your chain. So here you have your first handle. Just continue crocheting all the way around and repeat the same process with the other handle, and I will show you how I finished the round. So now I'm at my final stitch this round. Let's make a slip stitch in the second loop up here and finish. And let's continue with the next round. So for this final round, we're gonna make single crochets again, but I will show you how we crochet them around our handles. So let's start with making a chain again. 1, 2 loops, dive down in the next stitch and make our single crochet, and just work your way to your first handle. I will show you how we strengthen it and crochet around the chain and not just in the loops. So now I'm at the first handle. So instead of working in the top loops, we're going to crochet around this chain. So you dive down under the chain with your needle, hook the yarn and pull it up like this, yarn over and pull through both loops. So again, under the chain, hook the yarn and pull it up, yarn over and pull through both loops. So if you have 8 chains, you can make 8 single crochets on this chain. Oops. When we get to the other side, you just start in this top loop right here. Just make a single crochet and continue all the way to the other chain the other handle and work the same process. And I will meet you at the end of the round and show you how we finish, and then our tray is done. So now I'm at the end of my last round. I'm making my final slip stitch right here. Now we're done. Now we can cut the yarn, and I pull the yarn through the loop so you make a knot like this, and then I try to hide the end of my yarn or the string somewhere in between the stitches in the back, so you kind of do it like this, crochet it back and forth. It is a bit tricky, but could be easier to work with a smaller needle if it's too tight for you. Just use whatever works. Something like this. When you feel like you're done, cut it off. There you have it. Your tray is done. Great job. You made it your very own tray. Great job. So thank you so much for crocheting with me and you today. Please check out more videos on our website, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.